and welcome to today's A Day in the Life of a Boutique Owner vlog. So right now I am getting ready to go to AmericasMart for the apparel market. So AmericasMart is going to be the wholesale marketplace in Atlanta where store owners can come and shop various things like home decor, rugs, gifts, apparel of course, and other things that I'm not thinking of. So right now it is about 9 a.m. and I'm just finishing up getting ready to head over to the mart. So I live in Atlanta and it's not a very far drive. It's like, I don't know, 20 minutes from where I live. So I'm just finishing up getting ready and I wanted to bring you guys along because today is October 16th, yep. And of course, we are still in a pandemic, so I wanted to bring you guys along to share my experience of going to the mart during, these crazy times. I'm of course going to grab my mask, and I will bring you guys along and show you what it's like. So I also want to share some tips with you guys about what to do and how to get ready. So, I'm just gonna finish up doing my makeup. Do you guys ever wonder, should I put lipstick on if I'm gonna be wearing a mask the whole time? I mean, I can't just not wear lipstick, but I end up getting it all over my mask, so I don't know. I'm gonna finish getting ready, and then I will show you what I'm wearing and talk about what you need to bring with you and all the good stuff. So I recommend something comfortable. Cute, but comfortable. You might wonder if you need to dress up, but I think most people honestly wear jeans, which I used to be resistant to. I highly recommend wearing a comfortable shoe as opposed to heels because you will be doing a lot of walking. I also recommend a big bag so that if vendors hand out freebies or their flyer/business card with their information on it, you'll have somewhere to put it. Let's go. So when you're looking for parking, there are a ton of lots around AmericasMart. Some of them are going to be a lot more expensive than others, and some of them are a little bit cheaper if you're not Ubering. I always forget which parking lot is the cheaper one, so I'm always constantly driving around to find it. But if I find it today, I will try to record the location and let you guys know. We made it! Hey guys, so I'm here with my little helper, Kelsey, and we are about to go in and check out all the styles. One thing to note, it's so easy to get lost in this building, but when you are checking out the apparel mart, just let you know it's in building number 2. So here we go. So we just had our temperatures taken, and now they give us this badge, and we have to put it on.
Tape on it still.
And that's your ticket in the door. So from registration, I got my fast badge sent to my phone, and then I had to get my temperature scanned. Oh, and by the way, we ended up getting Starbucks after all. colors have you been seeing a lot of?
All neutrals, a lot of olive,
A lot of like marigold,
a lot of marigold.
jewel
Love a
tones,
good marigold.
a lot of prints, like animal prints.
A lot of sweaters, definitely sweater weather up here.
Got lots and lots of animal prints. So we just got back from, pause while I sip my wine. We just got back from AmericasMart, the apparel mart, and we just want to share a couple things that we noticed and our experience, especially now that we are attending the mart during a pandemic and things are a little bit different. So I think we're gonna start off talking about what's different about AmericasMart now that we have to wear masks and things are just not the same as they normally would be.
So yeah, you've been to the mart way more than I have. This was my third year going with you, and it wasn't as different as I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
I guess the biggest part that I miss about it is they weren't handing out free champagne this year. Instead,
Yes.
it was just free mask, which
Yes.
I got a lot of cute masks. But yeah, it didn't feel. I feel like I'm so used to seeing people walk around in masks now. Like I didn't
Yeah.
even like really think about that part.
Yeah.
Um,
I think like in terms of social distancing, I think they did a good job where people
Yeah.
weren't on top of each other and it wasn't like
Definitely.
overly crowded or anything.
a little more spread out this year.
Yeah, but that to be said, like they weren't like being crazy, like stay away from me, like don't talk to me or anything.
Yeah, I wasn't sure even like going in. I was like, is there going to be certain order that we have to go
Yeah.
through, or even like going certain ways?
Yeah.
But
But yeah, it wasn't that crowded. So we went on Friday, which is the third day that they had the mart open. So I don't know if the first 2 days would have been more crowded this year. But since we went on the third day, which was the Friday, I think that there was a good amount of people there, but it wasn't like overwhelming or too crowded.
yeah, it was fun. I love going.
Yeah. It's always fun to see the new styles, especially when they're doing next season styles. But let's talk about like what we kind of saw as like trends.
There's some new ones that I was kind of surprised. I mean, like with tie-dye, there's a lot of tie-dye, which I wasn't
Yeah.
really surprised to see. I feel like every year that kind of...
Yeah, I was
Been
expecting to
around.
see a lot of tie-dye, and there was a ton of tie-dye
Yeah.
at all of the vendors. But some other things that were new,
Sequins.
sequins.
Yeah.
I saw a ton of items that had sequins on it. Now, normally when I think about sequins, I think like New Year's. Like, oh, they must be saying like this is what you should buy for New Year's. And it is October, so if it's ready to ship, or it's going to be shipped in the next month, that would make sense. But I was surprised with the amount of items that had sequins.
But they had it, like, I honestly got
It's
a
like
lot of
casual
ideas.
outfits.
Yeah, more casual sequins. And
Yeah.
when I first saw it, I was like, a little, like, standoffish. But by the
Yeah.
end of it, after seeing, like, just, like, how they paired it with different outfits, I want to go buy some sequin outfits now.
I know. Yeah.
So that one was a fun one. Some Aztec. I loved the Aztec.
We saw a lot of like Aztec prints. Like, how would you describe it? Like,
Like where you have just like the different kind of like patterns and kind of like more
Colors.
pastel coloring.
yes. A
Um,
lot of it was like sweater material, I think.
yeah, I feel like it was a lot of in kind of like in
Sweater.
sweaters or jackets.
Yeah.
Or even some shirts too.
Yeah. It was cute.
I liked it. I'm a big
I'm-
Aztec fan. That was definitely one of my favorite.
I'm interested to start seeing that pattern more on like fashion bloggers and like on Instagram and stuff. 'Cause I feel like that's where I draw a lot of my inspiration.
Oh yeah.
Because I see it, like I see these vendors selling it, but then once I see like people wearing it, that's where I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
I know you were sad though because there wasn't as many blazer outfits as you thought there was
Yeah.
gonna. I mean, there was definitely a good amount, but I thought it was
Yeah.
really gonna be like one of like the main
more.
like
Yeah,
kind of
like
styles that I saw.
all over Instagram, I've been seeing blazers nonstop, and you just didn't see it as much at this mart. But I've seen on Instagram that blazers and these cute little jacket style things have been so popular. I've also seen cow print everywhere, so things to think about. We've also got our classic bucket hat that you've probably seen all over Instagram and TikTok.
This one had a lot of like more spring clothes too, so I don't know, maybe that's just more
Yeah.
of
There was
that fall, winter.
there was definitely a good mix of sweaters all over the place. as you'll see in all of the pictures. But yeah,
lots and lots of lounge sets.
Lounge sets, yes. So we have seen lounge sets for months, but they are not going anywhere.
No,
which is good for COVID times.
I'm fine with that. I
because
love my lounge sets. Oh, that's so true. Yeah, that is perfect.
we're
for
all
COVID
just
times.
stuck at home, and we want to be cute and we want to be comfortable. So
It's the COVID
perfect
style
item.
lounge sets.
And then, what colors did you see the most? I know we talked about it in one of the clips
Neutrals.
earlier, but now that we've come home,
So many neutrals and like pastels, a lot of olive. My favorite, my personal favorite. But there wasn't a lot of like really bright and vibrant colors.
yeah,
And like I didn't really see a lot of floral. I know that's a little bit different, but
yeah. I didn't
like
see much
really
floral.
See any floral or like.
I feel like this is your time to shine in terms of what colors are trendy, because it's like your favorite perfect color palette. It's like the olives,
Yeah.
the neutrals.
I'm not a big like vibrant color person, so I felt very in my element going through all of it.
Yeah.
But
Remember when neon was really big? Like, what was it, like a year ago?
yeah, definitely didn't see that.
Didn't see any
going
neon
around.
today, really. I saw more jewel tones, which I knew was going to be a big thing. But still, it wasn't overwhelming. There were a lot of just muted colors. Like, the blues were more of a muted blue. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but
Yeah,
I'll show like some examples of what I'm talking about. But it was just different.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I was a big fan.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how it all comes together.
Oh, I just remembered one thing that was everywhere too was Western, kind of
Yes.
like Western clothing. There's a lot of like cowboy hats kind of around.
So there are a lot of vendors that specifically target Western boutiques, because a lot of the small towns have a ton of the Western style, like year round, not just keeping up with the trends. But it is an interesting idea to think, like, what if Western becomes more of a trend? Like, I've seen cowboy boots come back. Remember, like, when we were in college and cowboy boots were all the rage?
Every weekend, my cowboy
Game
boots.
days. But yeah, now I'm starting to see a little bit more of that. So it'll be interesting if that's just like maybe they're targeting those style boutiques because they're pretty big in the South, or if that's going to be make its way into regular, casual, chic fashion. So next, let's talk about just our experience in general. So when we got there, I wasn't really sure what to expect. So one thing I want to share, we were talking about in the beginning of the vlog that parking is always an issue and the cost of parking. So we did find the lot that was cheaper than some of the other lots. I think I ended up paying about $16. We were there, what, 3 hours?
Well, at least 4 hours, I
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably 4 hours. So we paid about $16, but I realized that now they're offering free parking if you go to a certain lot. And I will share the information down in this description bar because I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it was like the cancer treatment parking garage. I'll share the information because I know where to find it now. But now they're offering free parking, so that's a plus.
Big plus.
But yeah, once we got there, so we parked, we went in. It's always a maze to figure out which building. There are certain parking lots where you have to figure out which building and which hallways to take because it's such a huge place with so many different showrooms. We were in building 2.
There's a lot of people there that I feel like are good for helping kind of like guide you in the right direction.
True. Yeah.
And
I haven't gotten actually lost in a couple of years. I feel like the first 2 times I went,
you were on it today. You're like right here, left there.
Yeah.
No, 3 rights and then a left and then.
I found my route to get in at least. But anyway, once we got there, we did end up getting Starbucks. Thought I wasn't going to be craving it, but I was, so we got Starbucks.
I made her.
And then after that, they ended up taking us through a different entrance because they needed to take our temperature. So instead of also printing out badges that you wear around your neck, it was all virtual on your phone. So instead of like being given this necklace with a badge, like a lanyard, instead it was just all through your phone, and then they gave you these wristbands. I'm still wearing mine. But yeah, they took your temperature, and then once you were all clear, you went inside, you got your wristband, and then you were good to go. So they did scan our phones for the badge. One other thing is that we always register in advance, and that allows us to skip the lines. It depends on like what time of day you go. If you go first thing in the morning, there's gonna be a longer line than if you go like mid-afternoon or mid-morning. But yeah, we did the fast pass badge, got in, got our temperature scanned, and then we were good to go.
Yeah, there's no lines. It was quick.
Yeah.
Very easy.
And then once we got inside, you know, it looked basically the same. Like,
yeah.
I can't say that.
Except for just a
anything's
little
different.
more spread out than
a little
before.
bit, especially the very bottom row or bottom floor. So at AmericasMart, there's all these different rows that have different styles.
Oh, I just remembered a big difference and kind of one of my favorite parts. In the other years, they would do fashion shows and kind of have like events in like the center stage area. And this year, their events are all virtual.
Yeah.
And I actually made a little mistake. And we saw that there is an event called, I think it was Sips and Shoes. And so we kind of were walking around the shoe area, vendor area, and we're looking and come to find out that all the events are virtual right now. So,
yep.
But we watched them in the virtual session. It's still really cool.
It's on IGTV.
Yeah. But
yeah, so that was different. There were a couple of vendors that I noticed weren't there that we usually love to go see. So I don't know if some people either just didn't want to come to this mart because there are so many each year, and I feel like some are more popular for each season than others. So I don't know if they just didn't come because of COVID, or if they just weren't planning to come to begin with, because sometimes you might pick and choose which season you're going to go. So I don't know. I don't know if that was actually a difference or if it was just how it normally is, but I did notice some of my favorite vendors weren't there.
yeah, there's still a good bit of new vendors there though.
Yeah, they had a ton of new vendors. They actually had a sign that listed all of the brand new vendors. So there's still a lot of business going on.
Yeah, I have some new favorites now.
And then let's see. So you go through each floor. Eventually you need to have a snack break because you get hungry, especially when you're there.
Snack break.
When you're there a long time and it's lunchtime, you need the energy to keep shopping because it is a lot of work.
On your feet the whole time.
So one of the places that we go that they had this time was Chicken Salad Chick, and I think it's a chain in the South. I think it started in Georgia, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, I think so.
But basically it's just chicken salad sandwiches, which is pretty good.
The best chicken salad sandwiches. I was not a chicken salad sandwich fan until I tried theirs.
Yeah. So on different floors, they'll have different food vendors. That's one that we like to go to, but depending on your preference, you can just check out which restaurant is available on each floor. There's going to be a couple of different restaurant areas, and there's plenty of seating. The seating was super spaced out. That's like one thing, is like instead of the tables being close together, it was like crazy spaced out.
Oh yeah.
Maybe less vendors could go because there's a limit to how many vendors could go.
I think that had happened, yeah. But along with our snack break, we also did a mimosa break.
And then we continued the party.
Which I feel like it was probably better that they weren't handing out free champagne this time, because I remember at least my first time going to the mart, we might have bought a little too much.
Might have had a little bit too much champagne. One of the first years I went and spent way too much money, went way over budget buying clothes, but hey, it all worked out in the end, so.
Learned some lessons.
Yeah, that's just a helpful tip is if they do start handing out the free champagne again, don't overindulge with your credit card out because you might make a mistake.
But marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. And they do, like we mentioned, they have like little bar carts. There were some areas that had like the smaller bar cart.
They have some pretty big, like.
And then one area had like the full bar.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say full bar, but like more options at least.
Oh, I'm going to get 4 more.
Yeah, it's too early.
What are you gonna get?
Thank you.
Cocktail.
So, it's always fun. I mean, you can make it a whole trip, you know, like bring your coworkers, your employees, and have some fun with it. I mean, it's basically like a giant shopping spree, if you think about it. Although it can be a lot of work. I know a lot of store owners, the first time they go, they recommend like going for 2 days because the first day you might want to just browse around and take notes, like either on your phone or if you want to bring paper, and then go back home, review your notes, look at the pictures you took on your phone, and then the next day go back, and that's when you make your decisions to buy, because it can be so overwhelming. I mean, there's so many vendors that show up that if you were trying to decide what to buy on your first date, you might miss out on some great stuff, or you just don't have time to see everything in one day, especially if you're actually trying to take notes and like be detailed and figure out like what your style and what you're going for the next season. I think it's important to have a game plan going into it in advance, where you know like exactly what you're looking for, what types of styles, what items, what products, whether you're looking for, let's say you know you need skirts.
Yeah, that's
Then you need to keep that in mind while you're shopping, and not just say like everything you kind of like, you know, you don't want to buy, because it might not be the right decision for your store.
really, really good advice. Like, go through everything first and then kind of like write down or like take a picture of what your favorites are, and then go back and look through everything. I think that was definitely one of the mistakes we made like our first year.
Yeah, gotta be strategic about it and make a plan.
Always gotta be
You
strategic.
can't just be random. You can't just buy stuff you like. You have to stick to your theme and your style, otherwise your customers are just gonna be confused.
Yeah, all over the place.
Yeah, I think that's about it though. I mean, overall, I'd say I don't think that we missed out on much. Like, we didn't miss out on anything because of COVID, really. Other than, like, the events were digital, but other than that,
it didn't feel different at all.
Yeah.
Another successful year.
Yay. Yeah, so I don't know if the next Mart, I think it's in January, I don't know if it's going to be, well, let me take that back. It's probably going to be the exact same scenario where we're all wearing masks.
Yeah.
Because I don't think much is going to change by January. So if you're watching this and you're planning to go to the next Mart, I think, you know, just make sure you have your mask. You've got your business cards that you can hand out to the vendors, and you bring a big bag, so when they hand out stuff to you, you can collect their flyers. Actually, that's a good point, is this time around I didn't see as many vendors handing out flyers.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time vendors will hand you out their business card or a flyer with more information about their store, so you can go home and check it out later. We didn't really ask this year, but I felt like in the past a lot more would just hand them out to you. And then this year, I feel like not a single person did.
I saw a few stands where you could like, if they had like a magazine or a catalog, you could take one. But
I would say, like, if it's your first time, I do recommend asking for those business cards or flyers, because then you can get their information and then go home and look at their website for the future.
Or take a notebook, take notes, write down the names of your favorite.
Exactly. So, if you guys have any questions, if you have any thoughts, because you're going to the next Mart, feel free to comment below and I will try to answer all your questions. But overall, you know, I think it's still a good time. I think we can still make business happen as usual during COVID. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. When you get your purse.
So we have a little problem. Haven't even been to the Sips event yet, and
Oh man.